Hi. Well, I was asked to do a review on my bike, which I've had now for, let me see, just over a year. And I think it was around 200,000 pesos. I paid for it on over a year. We finished the payments like a couple of months ago, I think. I think I got it in August. It was a slightly late birthday present. So, having made the age of 74, I felt that I had to do something to mark the occasion. Anyway, we bought it. I was able to, actually, on what we saved on gas by using the bike instead of the Raptor, I think pretty well made the payments, almost. Because whereas when I was putting gas into the Raptor, it was in thousands of pesos, and when I put gas into the bike, it's only like 200. It's only $4 at the time, and that lasts pretty well between here and Talabon. So that's what I use it for. I use it for going to and from Talabon. It's a sports bike with a leaning forward stance on it. So they're not clip-ons, but they're almost like that, and it's put out as a bike which can be used for the track as well, which I'll explain when I switch over the camera so that you see what I'm seeing. Okay, so there's the bike. It is a Yamaha, and it's an R15M or 15M, as you can see. Now, it's got quite a few things on it which makes it a very easy bike for me to ride. Got to admit that I was scared of it when I first got it. I thought I may embarrass myself when I picked it up at the dealership because it's so much bigger. The tank is huge compared to a normal road bike. Now this is actually put out as a sports bike. It's let me see, it's fuel injected. I can remember everything about it that I loved. It's ABS brakes. It has traction control. Beth doesn't like it for riding. She thinks it's a beautiful bike, of course, but this is the pillion, and the pillion rider is so much higher than the rider, that almost a head above, and she doesn't like that. You can see here that the pedals, you can see where the pedals are in relation to the ground. You're quite a bit off the ground, so it's not the best one for her, but mostly I use it solo. I've only taken Beth on here and one of our students, which I dropped off in Talabon once, and that's pretty well it. I've taken Lovely on the back, of course, who's so small you hardly know that she's there. So what else is good about it? The ABS brakes, the traction control, which I found that was a big attraction for me, ABS brakes and traction control, because here in the Philippines, believe me, the roads are, well, a trip to Talabon is fraught with the possibility of running over a dog or a cat or even a pig or even a cow, because that's Philippine roads in the province anyway. So there's the bike. It's what I would call dressed, because it has all of the fairing on it. Some of it is in fiberglass plastic, what they call plastic now, I guess. All of this, of course, is molded, and it has some carbon fiber on there as well. I take it that that's carbon fiber. Now, what I like about it is it just seems to me to be beautifully made. All of these fittings are all beautifully one-piece molded. All of this, look here, everything really cleans up nice. Now, this is one of the other things that is very good about this bike. Now, this little unit here which is to do with gear changing, is what do they call it? They call it a quick shifter. What it means is that you don't have to engage the clutch in order to be able to change down very, very quickly. So if you were doing some kind of a, not an emergency stop, say a semi-emergency stop, where you had to be there and down into the next few gears from, say, top, and you needed to get down quickly, then you could do that simply by hitting this, and that automatically operates the clutch as well, and you're down as quickly as you want. So that's one of the things that I really liked about it. It's amazing how quickly you get used to that tank. You are actually wrapped around that tank as you sit on it. See, so there we are. That's where you are. See my leg there. And there's the controls. Now, looking at the controls, as I said, they're not clip-ons. Not what I would call clip-ons anyway. But they still give that forward-leaning stance, seated position. So this is where you can get down and look down there, and you can be flat on that tank. Tank is kind of like looks like a kind of airplane or racing things. I did notice, if there is a downside to this bike, I did notice that the paint wears off very quickly. This happened the next day. I got it the next day, and it had a couple of small scratches on it, which it was difficult to get this bike. I had to wait several weeks before one became available, and they're not easily available now in the province. They just don't get them. They have made a bigger version of this, which has a 350 motor. Now the 350 motor comes at really what I thought was a heavy price when you compare to this. Doesn't look a whole lot different. Looks pretty much like this. But with the 350 motor, obviously they've had to beef up some of it, and it's a lot heavier. Quite a few kilos heavier. And this is already, for me, a heavy bike. Of course, for a young man in his 20s or a man in his 30s, it wouldn't present a great challenge weight-wise, but it is heavy. Now, it will hold 11 litres. I get it right eventually.